Dramatic breaking news. The story is developing as we speak, but apparently Robert Mueller and his team of investigators have questioned a Russian oligarch about a series of payments that have been made to Donald Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen. And then the Daily Beast added on to CNN's reporting on that matter, saying that they can confirm that hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly $500,000, were paid to Michael Cohen through Victor Vekselberg's company, the US affiliate of his company, which is known as Renavo. And that money was transferred through a series of payments. Now, you have the information we have about the Robert Mueller investigation. We know that earlier this year they stopped this oligarch who is apparently quite close to Vladimir Putin, although I don't think I've ever heard of a Russian oligarch that is not then described as close to Vladimir Putin, but apparently they all are. So he stopped him at an airport, asked him questions. We have that information.
To be fair, John, I just want to clarify. There were Russian oligarchs opposed to Putin. They're now largely in prison.
That's true, yes. Sometimes imprisoned in very small wooden boxes underground. Now, we have that information. Then we have the information about the payments. We know that that happened. Although when reached for comment, Michael Cohen's lawyer says that he disagrees with the term payments.
In other words, it happened.
It happened, it's just not a payment.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have Michael Avenatti, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, and he says that they have evidence that not only did this happen, and not only was it $500,000, but it was used to pay off Michael Cohen, paying off Stormy Daniels. As far as I can see, that is not confirmed as of yet. And I'm not entirely sure why the Russian oligarch would be directly repaying for a fling with the president, but certainly a payment happened. And we also have information about other payments coming from non-Russian oligarchs. But a big developing story, and it certainly seems like that raid of Michael Cohen's office, which the right has loved to classify as unrelated to the special counsel's investigation, apparently it's kind of related, or at least it appears that way as of right now.
All right, I'm ready with bold announcements and predictions. First of all, let's just be clear. Why would the Russians be funneling money to Michael Cohen to perhaps pay off things that Donald Trump has done? Because Donald Trump has gotten most of his money from the Russians. Now, I'm not the one saying that. It's actually Donald Trump's kids. So I know Washington posted this big story earlier in the week about, oh my God, it turns out Trump might have been getting money from the Russians all along. Of course, that was already public. That's why we discussed it on the show literally over a year ago. Donald Trump Jr., when asked where they get the money for a lot of their projects, given that his dad went bankrupt 6 times and no American bank will lend him any money, because you'd have to be an idiot to lend him money unless it was for money laundering, said, oh, we get it from the Russians. Eric Trump asked fairly recently, hey, where'd you get the money for the golf courses? Golf courses are hard to finance, plus you guys went bankrupt 6 times and nobody will lend you money. He said, oh, the Russians, it turns out they love to play golf. And he said they gave them.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, he gave them untold amount of money, millions upon millions of dollars. Now, I got news for you. Russian oligarchs don't give you money for their health. And Donald Trump is not a charity, okay? And so, I believe that it is for the very, very obvious reason of money laundering. I've said that, I think, on several occasions. So in regards to Michael Cohen, what's new? Well, they have Michael Cohen's papers. They are tying him to Russian oligarchs. So will that lead to Donald Trump? Of course, Michael. Look, Sean Hannity's got a lot of problems. But I would be very surprised if the payments from the Russian oligarchs are to get funneled to Sean Hannity. Remember,
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, and that would be awesome.
Almost 1,000 properties,
right?
And we know that that's one of the areas that they like to buy up is real estate.
Could you imagine if Hannity was involved in the money laundering? I hadn't thought of that.
It's not impossible. I haven't seen any evidence of that.
Yeah, guys, there's not almost no evidence of that. So put that aside, okay? But Michael Cohen only had 3 clients. He's not much of an attorney. He was a criminal attorney when you needed a criminal attorney. Okay, so it was Hannity, it was Trump, and it was another Republican named Bondi who had paid off his mistress for $1.6 million. Michael Cohen was in the payoff business.
Yeah.
Okay, so unless Biondi or Hannity was doing business with the Russians, it was Trump, right? Yeah. And of course it was Trump. So now that they've got him, what appears to be dead to rights, is Michael Cohen going to flip? Yeah, betcha. Michael Cohen is not the kind of guy who is like, you know what? I have principles. I mean, I will violate the law endlessly. I will help this scumbag named Donald Trump break the law for decades. I will do business with really dangerous Russian oligarchs and help them break the law. But I have principles. No, he's gonna flip. He's gonna flip. Before they got Schneiderman, Schneiderman was working on fixing a small part of the law, which I'm sure they will fix in New York, which would then allow them to charge Michael Cohen at the state level, okay? Because they haven't charged him yet. And so they could fix the law before they do any of that. And now the replacements for Schneiderman that people are talking about are Preet Bharara, earlier fired by Donald Trump, and a hell of a prosecutor, or maybe Zephyr Teachout.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, what do you know? I hadn't
Now
heard
there's
that
other
before.
options out there as well. But you think they're not going to prosecute Michael Cohen at the state level in New York? Bye-bye. So Michael Cohen will flip on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is in a world of trouble. As I've said all along, it's only a matter of time. And if they got oligarchs absolutely connected to Michael Cohen, good night, Irene.
And thus, the world waits with bated breath for Rudy Giuliani's explanation.
And then re-explanation, and then re-explanation. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.